What's up guys, in this video you're going to learn why you can't focus at the poker tables. Now if you're like most players, your main goal is to make a lot of money every time you sit down to play. And one of the biggest variables to how well you play is how well you can focus. And a lot of people message me every day saying they struggle to focus. They struggle to maintain their focus over the course of a session. So today's video is to help you guys to understand why it's difficult to focus and how to channel that focus into your performance at the poker tables. Sound like fun? All right, let's dive in. So in order to understand this, first of all, we've got to zoom out a bit. All right, we've got to understand where focus comes from. Now, first of all, we have something called consciousness. All right, we have our consciousness that focus comes from. So this is where everything begins. So in simple terms, if you're conscious, you're alert, you're aware. If you're not conscious, you're probably asleep or dead, okay? So we've got our consciousness that we're trying to pin on stuff, okay? So this is the energy that we use to direct into things. Now our consciousness, think of it like your attention, it wavers, can get sucked into things, all right? So there's three main things our consciousness gets drawn to. And as a result, we lose the ability to focus when we're playing poker, all right? The first of those is the world, all right? So our external environment. So we get drawn into the world by our stimulus, by our sight, our smell, our taste, our touch, draws us into stuff, and our consciousness gets absorbed into it or gets put onto it, and we get lost in that thing. So the first one, we're going to say the world. All right, external objects, okay? And the second one we get lost in, our consciousness gets lost in our thoughts, all right? So a lot of people, I'd say majority of people, spend a lot of their days with their consciousness so lost in their thoughts that they can't even see that their consciousness is not their thoughts, all right? So by this I mean they're lost from thought to thought to thought to thought in rapid speed, that they've no awareness that they're watching their thoughts. They're just in them, all right? So a lot of people get lost in thought. You may be one of these people watching this today. All right, so thoughts are a very big one. And the third place our consciousness gets lost is in our feelings, in our emotions. We feel a certain way, and our consciousness goes, oh, I don't like that feeling. Or, oh, I do like that feeling. We cling to the ones we like, and we push away the ones we don't like. And the thing with our feelings is, very quickly, when we feel something, say we don't like a feeling, we start to push it down, and very quickly the mind gets involved. And the mind's like, oh, we don't like that feeling? All right, I'll sort it out for you. All right, so these things work together. These things often work, they often paint a picture together. So your mind then starts to try to solve the problem, which always makes it worse when it comes to your feelings. All right, so we'll put this one as feelings. Now, when you're trying to focus at the poker tables, you're trying to direct your consciousness in a direction that you want, generally on the action at the poker tables. And your consciousness getting drawn away by the world, could be distractions in your environment, could be things that are going on from your stimulus, could be body sensations. It's getting drawn away by thought. You're thinking about other things that you should be. Your mind's wandering, which we're going to go into as we go through this video. And then you also get sucked into your feelings. You feel agitated, you feel uncomfortable, you feel annoyed at something, a bit frustrated that you just lost a hand. So our focus, our consciousness can draw into these things, which is the big challenge. All right, so this is the pretense of this video. You've got to understand this before you understand the more advanced stuff that we're going to go into. All right, now our conscious experience takes two different forms. All right, so our experience of consciousness is two different forms. The first of those is our attention. All right, what we're focused on in the center of our attention. Okay, so that's the first one. And most people think this is all consciousness is. This is all your focus is attention. But there's a second thing that our conscious experience is involved as well. And this is your peripheral awareness, all right? Other things in the background, okay? In terms of, I'll do an example in a second, compared to vision, but it's basically the other background things, okay? So peripheral awareness. All right, now to show what attention and peripheral awareness are, I'm going to use the example of vision, okay? So your vision, the center of your vision, what you're focusing on is your attention. So if I'm looking at this pen here, that would be my attention. So the center of my vision is the attention. Now everything else is the peripheral awareness. So I can see the camera, which is quite blurred out. I can see some windows, I can see some mirrors. Those are in my peripheral, all right? But at any moment, I can switch my attention. Now the pen is now my peripheral and the camera is in my attention. Okay, so we're zooming in a spotlight, almost like a spotlight beam on one thing, and the other things are in the background. Those things are still there, but they're background noise. All right, so our experience of life is dictated by both of these interplaying. Okay, so when you try to focus on one thing, something else can come into your attention, and all of a sudden that becomes the focal point. So we've got these interplay of them both. All right, now as a poker player, we really need to learn how to train our attention. Okay, our attention. What the center of this? I want to focus on this pen. I want to focus on this poker hand. I want to focus right here, right now. And we've got to fight against our peripheral awareness coming into play, or getting too strong, or getting too distracted. Okay? So to do this, we've got to understand two components of your attention. Okay? So we want to train our attention so that we can play a better poker. But there's two components that are very specific to your results at the tables. The first of those is intentionally direct. Intentionally direct. I want to be able to choose to focus on this pen and not focus on something else. If I can't intentionally choose something, that's because my mind is wandering. I'm lost in thought. I'm lost in something else. So for you, when you're playing poker, you need to be able to intentionally choose or intentionally direct your consciousness onto one thing. Okay? So the first one, intentionally direct. All right, that's the first part. So you're sitting down to play poker, and you're intentionally directing with your conscious will that I'm going to focus on these poker tables. Job done, surely. Now, the next part is sustaining your attention. All right, you've got to be able to sustain that attention. Okay? And this is where it gets really interesting. And this is where you guys are going to learn a lot about how to focus at the tables. So this one, intentionally directing, is done by the conscious mind. I can choose to focus on this pen. But sustained attention is done by the unconscious mind, the unconscious programs, okay? The subconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. But it's happening without your control. So if I focus on this pen, and I say to myself, I'm going to think only of this pen. Only of this pen. I can intentionally direct it, but I can't stop the mind from wandering. So things are going to happen in my peripheral awareness, that are going to stop me from being able to sustain my attention. It's going to be random thoughts. So let's use a poker example. Let's say you're focused on the poker tables. You're intentionally directing your attention. And then all of a sudden you start thinking about your friend Dave. Did you message him back? Oh, we meant to go out for lunch. I forgot to message him. Very quickly your mind's starting to think about other thoughts. And if those thoughts get dominant, your mind will then throw them from the peripheral into the front. All right, so imagine you've got your front of lens, the thing you're trying to pay attention to, and your mind is scanning things behind the scenes, going, is this important? Is this urgent? Does it need attention? And if it does, if it says yes, it slides it to the front. And now that's what your focus is. This is when you get distracted, and I'm autopiloting. Oh, I was meant to be focusing, but I just I was thinking about other things. So the busier the peripheral is, the harder it is to hold attention. Now we can use our will and our conscious effort to direct it, but we can't use our our consciousness to sustain it. So what do? How do we avoid this situation? How do we improve this area? There's two things you need to work on. All right. So first of all, we need to actively set the intention. So we need to go, okay, during this session, I'm going to focus on these specific things. Give the mind something to focus on. Give it an attention point. I'm going to judge my performance based on how well I was present, how well I focused on the flops coming down, my opponent's range, whatever variables you're focused on, but give it something very specific to focus on. Now the mind, subconsciously, isn't going to be able to sustain that, and things are going to come up. You're going to think about what you're going to have for food. I need the toilet. Oh, I forgot about that message. Oh, I haven't checked YouTube. What are my favorite Twitch streamers online? The mind's going to wonder, right? And occasionally those are going to come at the front. And your attention, you've lost your attention. Now your goal is to spotlight the mind's wonder and go, I'm thinking about something random right now or something different. Switch it back to what you were focusing on. And you use that moment, when you got distracted, as a way to reinforce that you're improving this area. Okay, so what I mean by that is, rather than going, my mind's been wandering, I've been autopiloting, God, I'm supposed to be focusing, like most people do, they beat themselves up. Use it as a positive. Go, just spotted my mind wandering. That was out of my control, but I spotted it, I'm back to where I was. Okay, and that reinforcement is everything. So if you set an intention and when you drift off and you reinforce, this is a good thing, I've spotted it, that is the equivalent of doing a rep in the gym. All right, your mind wanders and you bring it back. Now by setting the intention, you give information to the unconscious programs. So without getting too complicated, the peripheral is all your unconscious programs trying to decide is anything worthy of the front of the view. When you say, I'm going to focus on this thing, and you remind yourself over and over, that becomes information that goes into this peripheral awareness. So when you're trying to focus, over time, you condition the unconscious to not switch the slides, and you stay on one thing. All right, it's very, very important to know this. And also when you reinforce, that was my mind wandering, I'm back to where I was. You reinforce that this is important and it's positive. If you do the opposite, you subconsciously, or you inadvertently, you train the unconscious program to continue to mind wander. So let's say I'm trying to focus on the poker tables and my mind wanders. I'm thinking about yesterday. Didn't message thingy back. I wonder what I'm gonna do later. And then I spot myself and I go, idiot, shouldn't have done that. Why am I not focusing? I was supposed to be focusing on the tables. Why can't I do this? That negative energy reinforces the mind to go, mind wandering seems to be very important. Make sure we throw this up more often. It doesn't care that it was positive or negative. The subconscious doesn't care about the intensity of the emotion, whether it's good or bad. It goes, emotional intensity. Remember to do this more often. So you train yourself to be more distracted. So you've got to watch the mind get distracted and then bring it back to the focal point. So move out the way and then bring it back. Don't judge it. Be grateful that you watched the fact that this subconscious program didn't help you sustain it, and you spotted it and bring it back. Do that over and over. It's exactly the same as doing reps in the gym. All right, so you come to the gym and you look at the weights. Looking at the weights, is that going to put muscle on? It doesn't, does it? But once you start doing curls, very quickly you start breaking down the muscles and you start building muscle over time. When your mind wanders off, when you're trying to focus, and you spot that, you go, that's a mind wandering, awesome. Spotted it, bring it back, that's a rep. And you're growing this muscle. You're training the attention muscle, all right? We spend so much of our lives right now completely distracted. Well, what's going on my phone? What's going on here? What's going on? We get used to just jumping between things in our peripheral attention. Little things jumping around. Then we go to the tables and we go, try and focus. And we get surprised that the mind goes, wondering, what about this? What about this? And we don't train it back. So you can do this away from the tables with meditation, and you can train to focus on your breath. Focus on your breath over and over, and try and, once your mind wanders, bring the attention back to the breath. This is the best way to train it away from the tables, but equally important, at the tables, set a clear intention. When the mind wanders off, bring it back. When the mind wanders off, bring it back. Be thankful that you spotted it, because that reconditions the process. Set a new intention to focus again, and over time, you get better at this game. And over time, those things that come from the sides get less and less dominant, all right? Then there's a next level you can go to advance this concept further, but I've already been going for 30 minutes, so I'm going to end this video on that note. So get working on that. Set the intention. When you spot your mind wanders, bring the attention back. That's a rep done for your attention training skills. Be aware that in the peripheral, things are going to be going on, and when they come to front, your goal isn't to stop that, because it's this unconscious program. Your goal is to reinforce the current attention, and from there, you'll make massive, massive progress with your focus. If you can, create a little scorecard. Keep track of how many times you spotted your mind wandering, because the more times you spot it, the better. Spotting it to win, remember? Wandering off's not to stop wandering off isn't the goal, it's to bring it back when you've spotted it. If you do that, keep score of it. See how many times you can keep score, more reps done, and you'll train the skill of attention, which will help you to focus for longer. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button so I know to produce more videos of this nature for you guys. There's also a free quiz in the description. If you answer the questions in the quiz, it will tell you what level your poker mindset is right now, and also some tips for how to improve it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button before you go. There's going to be plenty more coming from me very soon.